Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Got an unboxing for you today. Got an unboxing. Hope everybody's doing good out there. And this one's coming from the Knife Center. Opening up today is my Kershaw. Kershaw launch. I can't remember what launch this is. I'm sitting here trying to remember what the launch was. So we just call it the Kershaw launch. You know it's a California legal switchblade. I've had it for a while now. Absolutely love it. It's a great little thing to play with, and also it's cool because it's great for opening up packages like this. Because it's got a super sharp blade. The CPM 154 CPM 154 blade. Okay, and here we go. $100 wine voucher. How to spend your $100. Visit blah 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 nakedwines.com. I'm not a wine drinker, but the ladies like wine, so it might be good to just get some, just keep it on stock. All right. And this was one that, because you guys know I don't like, certain types of locks. And this one has one of those certain types of locks I don't like. I really don't like it that much. But the knife is so cool that I just wanted to get it to collect it. I'm not going to carry this knife or anything like that. It's just one that I really just got to collect because I just thought it looked awesome looking. And here we go. Yes, it's the Ritual. It's a CRKT Ritual. Crazy looking case CRKT Ritual. Oh, that's beautiful. Coming from a Knife Center. I've had this one on back order for a long time. This one, the Amalgam, and the Civivi, I did a video on. I've had these on back order for a long time. And they finally got, I guess the Knife Center finally got an order of them, shipment of them in. Ooh, it's got a little bit of weight to it too. Neat looking handle. It looks like ivory. I know it's not. This looks like a synthetic type ivory, sort of. Like the same material that they used to put on the Case Bowie knives. That's what it looks like. And it's got anodized blue bolsters. I want to say that they're probably stainless steel bolsters because they don't have that aluminum feel. Full stainless steel liners. Now these could be aluminum though. It could be anodized aluminum. Seems like it'd make more sense to make them aluminum because that would cut down the weight. Same thing with the backspacer. Backspacer's blue anodized. It's really a pretty looking knife, and that's the reason why I got this one. I didn't get it to actually really use or anything. I just wanted to collect it. Look at that. That's crazy. That's a crazy looking blade. I love it. I love Mediterranean Persian looking things because they look sinister. That is wild. That is a wild looking blade. On the blade it says Ritual TM Foltz Design. Folts Design. Foltz Design. That's the person who designed this one. The number is 7471. CRKT. Excellent quality. This is a very nice liner lock. I like the way it opens. Yeah, it closes and it's smooth. It's got to be on ball bearings. It's got to be a ball bearing knife. No blade wobble, no nothing. It's fast too. And I see I got thumb studs too. I'm sitting here pushing on. I'm pushing on the pivot like it's a button lock. Whoa! So that's assisted. That's got to be assisted. Oh yeah, that's assisted. So when you use the thumb stud, I can feel the assist. When I use the flipper, it just comes out like a normal flipper feeling to me. It doesn't feel like it's I'm sure it's assisted, but let me see. Oh yeah, that's assisted, because if you just touch it, it flips out like that. Nice knife. If you're a liner lock person, this is a really nice knife. I put it on par with the Cold Steel limited edition liner lock. It looks like about the same type of quality. This was 70 something bucks or something like that at Knife Center. I like it. It's actually a very nice looking knife. I mean, it looks, the quality of it, I'm looking at the fit and finish of it. It's got a nice deep pocket clip that has, what do you call it? Doesn't have screw heads that stick out. It's got flush screw heads for the pocket clip, for the deep carry pocket clip. It functions. Oh man, this is really, it feels good in hand. It really feels good in hand. The grip feels good. Sorry, it reminds me like the Towel War. The grip does anyway. I wish the flipper would be a little bit longer so it'd give me a little bit more, make me feel a little bit more secure with the liner lock. Let's see what happens when I disengage the liner lock and I don't know, I guess it would be hard for this to fold in on your hand still. I do wish the flipper came out a little bit further though, because that'd make me feel a little bit safer with it. With other types of locks other than like the Cold Steel Triad and the CRKT deadbolt, I trust the Axis locks too. I trust Benchmade's Axis locks a whole lot too. I've never had any problems with those. So I tend to feel safer with Axis locks, deadbolts, and Triad locks. But like all other locks, though, when they're I prefer them with flippers, because I think when you put a flipper on a blade tang, let me give you an example. When you put a big flipper on a blade tang, you make it safe. Even if it's a weaker type lock, like a liner lock or a plunge lock, or any of the other types of locks that aren't super strong, like deadbolts and triads and Axis locks. But when you put a flipper on it, even if it was to come disengage, it can't fold in on your hand. And that's the reason why I like flippers. Other than they're fun to use because they're easy to make things open. It's one of the fastest ways to deploy a knife, if you ask me. Just use a flipper. And you have to use your finger like this. Just grab it like this. This is a fast way to do it. When it's in your pocket, you just grab it and just close your hand. Close your hand into a fist. Grab it. See, I'm not even using my finger like this. I'm using my like the joint of my finger, I guess you would call it. Just grab it, bam. But knives with big flippers, even if they have the weaker type locks, I still think that they're safe. Safe for self-defense or anything you want to use it for, because the knife can't fold in on your hand. The thing that makes a folding knife dangerous is the ability for the knife to fold in on your hand and cut up your hand. That's why folding knives are dangerous. Folding knives can be very dangerous for a self-defense type tool if they were to come disengaged and the blade comes in and fold on your hand. I know from experience, I've gotten very cut up with a AFCK 800 series, I think it was, Benchmade, that I used to always carry with the titanium liner lock. And ever since then, I stopped carrying liner locks. But now they're making things with flippers. Liner locks with flippers. And I can go for a liner lock with a flipper. But I still prefer like the... When it comes to liner locks, I would like what I would call a reverse liner lock or a compression lock by Spyderco. It's my favorite type of liner lock so far. And with the flipper, and they put nice big finger choils in it, so even if it comes disengaged, it's not going to cut you up. These Spyderco compression lock knives, the Amalgam, the Sliver Axe, and the Tropin, I would say that they're all safe knives. I like all three of them. The Sliver Axe and the Amalgam are my two favorites. The Amalgam's becoming my favorite, but I still like the Sliver Axe because it's like a lightweight version of this, and you still have the same cutting edge. Same amount of cutting edge, 3.5 inches of cutting edge. But the Amalgam and the Sliver Axe, I know these are expensive, but these are awesome knives. And as you can see with this one, I've been carrying it, and so I got rid of the shiny clip, and I got another clip, pocket clip for it. I wish I had flush screws though. This one doesn't have flush screws because you have to use the same screws that came with the other pocket clip. But it's just a little eBay pocket clip. Got off of eBay. But the Amalgam, I absolutely love this knife. But this is sweet. I absolutely like it. I think it's a sweet little knife. Well, it's not a little knife, it's a big knife. Let's see how big it is. See how much it weighs first. .3 ounces, so it's not a lightweight. 6.3 ounces. Let's compare it to my Hogue X5. My Harley Davidson Hogue X5. It's 5.6 ounces. It's lighter. Lighter. Let's compare it to the Amalgam, my Spyderco Amalgam, another one of my new favorites for this year. 4.4 ounces. And see, I want you to see these because they're all about the same blade length. Actually, this one's a little bit bigger. The Ritual's a little bit bigger. Let's see how long these blades are. I'm gonna measure them from the furthest point of the handle to the tip of the blade. This one's 3 3/4 for the Amalgam. 4 inches for the Harley Davidson Hogue X5. And this one's 4 3/8. Yep, 4 3/8. Almost 4.5 inches. So this one's definitely the biggest, second biggest, the smallest. But one thing about this one that's a little bit too fancy for me, it's like a knife that I would collect, but I wouldn't carry because, I don't know, it's just a little bit on the fancy side. A little bit flashy and fancy looking. But I think it's really cool. Let's see how it cuts. Woo! That's a sharp blade. That's sharp. That's a sharp blade. And the reason why I know it's sharp because when you cut paper, if a blade is really sharp, it'll feel like the way the blade feels as it cuts, it'll feel like it's gliding through the paper, like it's gliding through air, like it's really not even cutting anything. And that's how this feels. This feels really sharp. So they did a good job on sharpening it. Look at that edge. Look at the belly on that. That's wild. I think it's a really cool knife. I like it. Even though it's a liner lock, I like this one. I think it's pretty cool. Would I carry it? No, it's not really one that I would carry, but it's a collector for me. It's one that I like to pull out and play with every once in a while. Am I going to carry it on the street? No. I think if I got pulled over for speeding or something like that, and they saw this pocket clip or something, and they wanted to see the knife, and I show them the knife, I think they'd say, oh, well, that definitely looks dangerous. It definitely looks like a weapon. I think it'd get confiscated real quick. Because it doesn't look like a utility knife. It looks like a fighting knife with a big old Persian blade. Absolutely love it. I think it's very cool. Absolutely love it. But this is still the X5. I think this is my favorite flipper. Of all the flippers I've tried, I think the X5 is my favorite. And I mean favorite as like a knife that I would use for self-defense and everything else. I mean, it's got very good edge on it. It's got the polished Hogue edge. This knife has been used too, so it's not super sharp anymore, I don't think. Let me see. Let's see if we still got a super sharp blade. I don't think it's super sharp anymore. It's still sharp. It's still gliding through the paper like it originally did. I've used this knife a lot. So it's holding its edge really well. This one has CPM. CPM, that means powdered steel. 154. CPM 154. And when you first get these, they don't open and close like this. But I've carried this one a lot and used it a lot and fidgeted with it a lot. So it's loosened up a little bit and it rock and rolls. It just flies in and out. Now, one thing about the X5 though, you will develop a little bit of side to side. This one has a little bit of side to side. And don't get freaked out about that, because when you get that little bit of side to side, that's when it works the best. Because these don't have any bushings or washers or bearings in them. You just have this is a 6061 aluminum handle, and it has like the bushing built into the handle. It's like cast into the handle or whatever. I don't know how they made it, but it's part of the handle. So it doesn't have a separate part for a bushings, which makes it really easy to take apart and maintain and clean and put back together, because you don't have to deal with a whole bunch of different parts. But the blade rides right on the handle scales. And when it's a little bit loose, and I put grease in mine, I put Militech 1 grease in it. You put a little bit of grease in there, these fly open. These rock. I love these Hogues. Hogue in general makes really high quality knives. They're like Benchmade to me. Maybe even sometimes a little bit better than Benchmade. Because I think they do a little bit more attention to detail. Like with the polished blades and, I don't know. If you get a Hogue knife, you understand what I'm talking about. They really go out their way to try to do a good job, I think. They're really good since they're like a handle company, when they're first gun handle company. Okay, let's we haven't done the thickness, huh? We haven't checked out thickness on these. I always like to measure thickness back at the tang, because that's the thickest part of the blade. I got 3.25 millimeter. So I'd say, there you go, 3.331. I'd say it's a 3.3 millimeter blade. 3.3. And then we're going to get thinner. 3.13. The tip. 0.80. So it's not a wimpy tip. 0.79. Yeah, that's a pretty nice tip. It's almost a millimeter thick tip. It looks thin though. It's actually fairly decent size. It's not a wimpy tip. It's not a tip that you're going to use for prying though. But I think as a self-defense tool, it'll be a good thickness. The 1 millimeter thick tip. This one has like a 1 millimeter thick tip too. It's actually a little bit thicker. Let me see. This is the Amalgam, Spyderco Amalgam, one of my new favorites. Yeah, oh yeah, it's 1.43 millimeters, so it's thicker than a millimeter. And this one has a 3.52 millimeter blade, so it's a thicker blade. The Hogue, 3.81 for the thickness, 3.8 millimeter blade. The tip is right at about a millimeter. About a millimeter, so it's a little bit thicker than this one. The blade's thick, the blade stock's thicker, and the tip's thicker than this one. And this one, the blade stock's thicker, and the tip's thicker also. But this is a very cool blade. I like it. And that's about all I got for that. My little Kershaw launch. California legal switchblade. I like that one too. USA made. And that's about all I got for you today. Let me see what the total length is on this one. Almost 10 inches. This one's almost 9 inches. That one's almost 9.5 inches. 5 3/4. All right, people. Now that's about all I got for you. Tomorrow I gotta get back to working all them long hours. Get back to working all those long hours. I'll probably release this one for you tomorrow. I'll release another one for you tonight. But yep, it looks like I won't have any free time until next weekend. So don't expect any videos from me next week. I'll try to answer you guys' questions if you have any questions or anything like that. Because I could do that at work during my free time, during my break time or whatever. But I won't be able to get any videos out for another week or so. Maybe a week and a half or so. But anyway, peace out, Stiletto. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Stay safe.